Hey guys, Kev here, and I wanted to show you a prototype that was sent to me by Dapper Design. And this is a new project they have going on. There's actually an active Kickstarter. The last time I checked, there was 2 days left, and today's Monday the 15th. So I'm going to try to get this video up as quickly as I possibly can, hopefully by the 16th. And yeah, I just want to talk about it. So I've had this for a week and a half, and carried it, kind of played around with it a bit, and wanted to give my thoughts on it. So the Shozen here is a design by the Dapper Design team. We have titanium sandblasted scales. We have proud liners made of stainless steel. We have a VG10 sheep's foot blade. This has a mirror polish finish on it, but I am pretty certain they have decided to go with a satin finish. You can see the Kickstarter or their Instagram to see what that looks like. But basically it has grind lines along this bevel here. I think it looks really good. I think it looks a lot better than this. I prefer a satin a lot more over this kind of a finish, especially on an EDC type knife. They are advertising this as an EDC knife. So this is supposed to be a companion carry, something that you keep in pocket, and when you need to cut a string or a rope or some cardboard or something, you have it in your pocket. I don't think it's meant for heavy duty use. It's obviously not that big. It does have a rather strong lock, being an Axis style lock. I should say should be strong. I haven't tested it, but crossbar locks are usually very, very strong locks, which is good. This one here has a right hand only clip on it, but they are considering a ambidextrous style clip as well, so that it is reversible. So I think they're kind of planning to, when they launch it, when it actually comes in, they're planning to do an option that has a reversible clip. But the Kickstarter, I think, just has the right-hand clip, as far as I understand. They actually made the clip screw, it looks like, Phillips. That is very interesting. Let me check that. I never even noticed that till right now. So here's a Phillips. Let's see how that goes in there. Oh, it's really tight, but that feels like a Phillips. Is this a 2? This is a PH1, so Phillips 1. A Phillips 2, I think, would fit perfectly in there. And then you have T6 here, and it looks like T8 on the pivot. So that's an interesting thing right there. Now, you do have this hole for deployment, sort of an elongated, thin, pill-shaped hole. But it is rather difficult to reverse flick. So if you're looking at this thinking, ooh, that'd be fun to reverse flick, I think it can be done with smaller hands, maybe a little bit more consistently than I can do it. My issue, the reason I can't deploy it most of the time, is there's 2 reasons. The spring isn't really weak. It's not the strongest, but it's not super weak or anything. But mostly the Axis lock, crossbar lock, the bars, which make it really easy and comfortable to disengage, they stick out rather far. So when I go to flick it, especially left-handed for me, which is my dominant hand, this is how I hold a knife when I flick it. I go like this, and then I flick. Well, my index finger is on the crossbar lock bars, so it stops the blade from being able to travel when you kind of lock down that bar. So it just doesn't work for me unless I somehow get off of the bar, and then I can do it. But it's just kind of difficult. It's not natural at all. If I pick it up to flick it, this is what happens every time. So what I've learned to do is just use my thumb and slow roll it out. Sometimes it feels like I'm gonna miss it, but because it's a crossbar lock, it doesn't have like a detent break really, so it just kind of rolls out for me. Right-handed, it is easier to open with the thumb. I think there's a little bit more access on that side. At least it feels like it. And I can sometimes flick it a little bit better, but it's the same problem there. You have to be off of the crossbar lock, and then you can kind of flick it. So if I like pinch down on the full pivot, there, now I can flick it. So I don't really see this as a flickable knife for me. I see it as a slow roller with the thumb, and or you could two-hand it open and close it like that. You can obviously also just pull the crossbar lock down and flick it out. So you can fidget with it in that sense, just like this. One of the concerns I had when I first got it in hand was, is this going to pinch me when I close it? Because one of the issues I have with smaller crossbar locks, do I have one here? I do not. I just recently had one in that did that. When you go to close it, because it's smaller, your palm kind of envelops the bottom of the handle. And so the meat of your palm is kind of up in this area, and you go to close it and it swings down, and that blade just kind of slides right across and pinches the meat of your palm, right? But with this knife, there's a couple of reasons it does not do that. One is the blade does not go all the way to the end of the handle. There's a little bit of space there. I wouldn't say it's bad blade to handle ratio, but it doesn't go all the way to the end of the handle. And you can see when it comes into the handle, it's right here near the end of the front of the handle, and then it stays inside the handle the rest of the way. So when you go to close it, as long as you have nothing in this area, it's not going to get you. So it just seems the way it's designed, it's not going to let it pinch you. So if you have anything at the bottom here, it's not going to, the tip doesn't pass through that area. You just flick it closed, it's fine, no problem. So I put my finger down here. This is usually how I close it right-handed. I put my finger along the bottom and then just let it swing down. It's got good action. I mean, there's no play there, and it swings down. No up and down, and it swings down there. This example, again, it's a prototype, is a bit off center. So it should be, over here like that, where it's centered in the handle, but it's off to the side over here. Now, again, it's a prototype, so I'm sure that's something that in production would be good to go. Sometimes the lock sticks a little bit. It'll be a little bit tough to disengage, and sometimes it's super smooth. So I think that's just an oil thing. Like there's oil. Can't even see this little piece. There's like something on there. See that? Maybe if I clean that off, let's see what happens. Clean the bar. Yeah, it seems a little better now. There, it's stuck again. So there's some oil or something in there. Pretty sure that would break in, and or yours just wouldn't have that, But yeah, I think as a backup knife, a secondary knife, a throw in a bag knife, leave in my truck kind of knife, I think this would work. Now, for me to carry this every day and rely on it as an EDC, I don't think it would work for me, just because of the size and the deployment factor. I like to fidget with my knives. I want to be able to flick it and, kind of have fun with it and whatnot. And this one, just for my hand size and my preferences, it just doesn't really go with it. You see there, I slipped and my hand's like in the path now. It's a little too small, I think, for me, personally. The clip is good. It's a wire clip, and it goes in pocket fine. Now, I did think that this crossbar lock portion right there would get in the way going into the pocket, but for me, it does not get in the way. I usually am looking when I put things in my pocket. If you're not paying attention, you could get caught up on this crossbar lock tab, and then it gets bound up there, your pocket, and then you can't get it in. And you got to just get that piece under your pocket, and then it'll slide in. So for example, here's like a cloth. If I show you, if you're coming in and you go to slide it in, you could get caught on this bar right here, especially with like stiffer pants. This is obviously just a cloth, but once you clear that, it goes in. The clip works excellently. The carry is good, all of that. So I did notice when I wasn't paying attention, I was just kind of jamming it in my pocket. Sometimes I'd have to do it a couple times because I would kind of hit it right here on that lock tab. Let's see the size, in case you guys are curious. And then I'll talk about price and everything, because it's actually, I think it's a great price. So we have a 4 and, I mean, a little over 4 3/4. So what is that? 7/8 or no? Yeah, what? 7/8 or 15/16, something like that of an inch. So not quite 5 inches. The blade length is a little over 2 inches, not quite 2 1/4. So you're talking about a pretty small knife here. So again, I see it as a backup knife, a nice bag to toss into, a nice knife to toss in a bag, etc. I do not know the manufacturer of this knife. Just from looking at it, my guess would be Concept, because of the pivot. It has that like sort of flat domed looking pivot that you see on Concept knives a lot. See that pivot design? Never seen another OEM do it. That doesn't mean that another OEM doesn't exist that does it, but you can see both of those are Concept OEMs. And maybe it's just a smaller scaled version of it. I don't know. But yeah, they don't list an OEM, I don't think, and it doesn't really matter. It's Dapper Designs knife and everything. But you know me, I always like that information. The titanium finish is gorgeous. They call it a sandblast, and it does look a little better than a bead blast, I think. It could just be a bead blast, but it is nice. It's smooth. It just feels really good. It's got a little texture to it, but not much. And it feels good in hand, you know? I'm not too big on squared off style designs. Personally, it's not a preference of mine. But I do like this one. I think it's a cool and unique design. And I think for the price, which I'm going to talk about now, I think it's really cool. So they have this up on Kickstarter right now for $59. So you can get this knife in titanium and VG10 steel. Hopefully I said that earlier. I don't know if I did. But VG10 is the steel, which is a good steel. It's not a premium steel, but at $59, I think VG10 is a fair, it's a good steel at $59, in my opinion. And they still have some, it looks like, available at $59, and then they have some at $69 too. I was trying to figure out the difference. I don't see one. I think this was meant to be like an early bird, and then they just left it open. But here is the video that they have. I thought you guys might want to see this. So let's check it out. Just to be, there we go. So that's the video and the Kickstarter. And again, $59 for this guy, at least for the next couple days. I think that's perfectly fine. Once I saw the price, I was like, okay, yeah, that's really good. You know, if it had been $100 or $120 like I expected for these materials, you know, that's what people would charge for these materials in a lot of cases. I figured at least, you know, $80, but no, you're talking $60 right now, $60 to $70. I think that's a great price by Dapper Design. So shout out to Dapper Design for they always seem to have good price points. I mean, if you look at the Dapper Design Ion, one of my favorite flashlights, the Ion, no wait, now I'm mixing up stuff, but it's called the Ion. That one is right around the same price, and it's a titanium flashlight, and it's really, really good. So this would go along with it really, really well, I think. So check it out. Thank you to Dapper Design. I appreciate you guys letting me check this out. And if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. I'll put a link to the Kickstarter. I don't have an affiliate thing or anything for the Kickstarter. I do have an affiliate link for Dapper Design's website if you want to check out their other products like flashlights. They have a little utility knife. I think they have some other stuff as well. I'll put that down below. I do have a discount code. I think it's 5% off, but I'll put all that in the description. But I'll link the Kickstarter for you if you're interested. So there you go. That is the Shozen from Dapper Design. Thank you for checking it out. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.